Just opening at the clear across the country is Baz Luhrmann's new film, Australia. A film that has something for just about everybody. If you love westerns, there's a great cattle drive in Stampede. If you like war films, there's a climactic Japanese attack on Darwin. And of course, if you love stories, this has one to equal almost any film. Indeed, most critics have stressed the love story, but in the next few minutes I'd like to look at another aspect of this film. The story is narrated by Nulla, a half-Aboriginal, half-Caucasian child. Nulla lives with his mother Daisy on a farm, or cattle ranch actually, called Faraway Downs. There he lives in constant fear of the police, who have the legal authority to kidnap him and send him to a school where he will never see his mother again. It seems that the racial policy of the Australian government in those days was even worse than that of South Africa, or perhaps even of the US, allowing the government to do such a thing. For about 75 years the government did this, and so the children of those years are called the stolen generation. Nulla charmingly tells us how Lady Sarah Ashley from England flies to Australia to check on her husband, who was supposed to be selling their ranch, Faraway Downs. She's met in Darwin, when she gets off the flying boat, by a character named only the Drover. The two could not be more unalike, reminding us very much of the characters in An African Queen. The drover is used to the outdoor life, drinking and gambling and carousing with men. Lady Ashley, very snobbish and very prim and proper. For a long, hot, dusty drive, they arrive at Faraway Downs to discover that her husband has been murdered. Well, the only way they can save the farm, because they've been betrayed by the foreman, a man named Neil, that they are going to have to go on a long cattle drive. This will involve the drover and some of the other people around the farm. And of course we know that on that drive the two will come to respect and of course eventually come together as true love finds its way. But really the story that I want to tell, because you'll see that for yourself or you'll read about it in other critics' reviews, really want to dwell on is Nulla and the Aboriginal culture and the terrible way that they were treated. One of the delightful parts of the film is when Nulla is grieving over the death of his mother, and Sarah comes to him to tell a story, and it's the story of the Wizard of Oz, which Nulla immediately takes to, especially when Sarah tries to sing at Nulla's bequest a song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which Nulla thinks is a wonderful song because it has dreaming in it. Sarah, the drover, and Nulla face many obstacles and ordeals in the film, far too many for me to go into here or to risk spoiling the plot. Let me just say that they do persevere and are reunited after a separation from Nulla. And we find that Nulla has affected both Sarah and Drover for the good. The film is a beautiful, touching moment, one in which the filmmakers show tremendous respect for the Aboriginal culture. But this film reminded me, and this is perhaps part of the reason I want to share this with you, an earlier film, a film made around 2002 called Rabbit Proof Fence, and it deals with the same issue, and that is the government policy of kidnapping mixed children from their Aboriginal mothers on the mistaken belief that they cannot raise them properly. The film was also an Australian film, and this time set in the early 1930s, when 3 children are kidnapped, 2 sisters and a cousin, and Kenneth Branagh stars as the government official in charge of this re-education program of the mixed children. And sorry to say that, as in Australia, the church is seen as working in collusion with the government for this terrible policy. Branagh poses with the 3 children for his photograph to be taken, which he will then use to show ladies in the various cities around Australia how well their program is working to re-educate these savage children. The name of the oldest of the 3 is Molly, and Molly is so profoundly unhappy in the school and the way they are treated that she leads the others in an escape attempt. It's over 1,500 miles to their home, and so the children use the rabbit-proof fence that had been built years before across most of the continent as their guideline to head south towards home. They're of course pursued by trackers. Molly has a lot of tricks up her sleeve, and it's a wonderful, thrilling tale of how she manages to elude them and eventually reach her mother. At the end of the film, we see Molly as she's had grown up into an Aboriginal woman today. This film is available on DVD, and I heartily recommend it. It's one that will add depth to your enjoyment and understanding of Australia.